All right, good afternoon. Thank you all for being out here. I want to thank the media for coming out today, too, and helping us share this message with the entire community. And with that, let me go through some introductions. This has been an overwhelming response today. It's been a whirlwind all day long, as you can imagine, but just a big thank you to everybody who came out today to help, again, us deliver this message. Obviously, thank you to Mayor Lenny Curry for being here. Bishop John Guns, Wiley Hodges with First Coast Crime Stoppers, our council people who are represented here today, Greg Anderson, President of City Council. Greg, thanks for being here. Al Ferraro, Sam Newby, Tommy Hazuri, Reginald Gaffney, Katrina Brown, Garrett Dennis, Anna Brochet, Jim Love, Joyce Morgan, Matt Schellenberg, Reggie Brown, Danny Beckton, John Crescenbenny. I mean, thank you all for being here. I think it's representative of the partnership that you really do see working in the city, that everyone has come out today, so thank you all for being here. Angela Corey, our state attorney. Angela, thank you for being here as well. Also Representative Reggie Fullwood and Representative Mia Jones, thank you guys for coming out and showing support. And I want to thank some members of our faith community, some pastors who have come out. We just met right before this press conference, and I want to thank them for being here today and the good conversation, the good, frank, open, and honest conversation that we just had prior to this press conference. Bishop Rudolph McKissick, Jr. and Senior, thank you both for your wisdom and your leadership. Pastor Fred Newbill, Pastor Robert Brown, Pastor Herbert Bartley, Pastor Terry Hill, and Pastor Eugene Diamond. Again, you know, great men in our community, and I'm honored to have their counsel, especially at a time like this. Listen, last night was another violent night in Jacksonville, and a 22-month-old little boy, Aiden McClendon, was murdered. His picture is behind me. This is our 13th murder so far in 2016. And here's what we know about last night. So we know that he was not the intended target in this shooting. His mother and grandmother were also in the car, and they were not injured, and nor were they the intended targets of the shooting. And we know this to be gang-related. And we'll talk more about that in just a minute. Our folks, as you can imagine, are hard at work on this case. Many of them have been working since last night and continue to do so today on this case. But what I want the community to know is that we will find out who is responsible for this, and we will bring them to justice. That is a promise. Since the shooting last night and this morning, I've been in touch with business leaders all around this community. And again, another example of the outpouring and of support in the type of community that we live in. The reward for information that was raised by business leaders in this community currently stands at $20,000. $20,000 for information, absolutely. $20,000 that leads to the arrest of the person or people responsible for this tragic crime. I hope this motivates someone to call First Coast Crime Stoppers. That number, 1-888-845-TIPS, 1-888-845-8477. Tell them what you know about the person or people who committed this crime. That call to First Coast Crime Stoppers is answered in Canada, at a call center in Canada, and I can assure you nobody in Jacksonville, including us, will know where that call came from or who that call came from. Take advantage of this opportunity to help us solve this case. We're standing here today together to make sure this community knows our resolve is strong to stop gun violence and gang activity, much of which has a nexus to the drug trade in our community. We need the entire community to come together, regardless of what neighborhood you live in, and recognize that violent crime is a community-wide issue. Gang violence is a community-wide issue. The drug trade is a community-wide issue. Our entire city is impacted by this. All of us are impacted by it every day. But together with leaders from every segment of this community, and many of them you see standing here with me today, I promise you we're going to find some real long-term solutions to get us ahead of this challenge in our community once and for all. So again, thank you all for being here today. With that, I'm going to, speaking of partners in this initiative, I'm going to turn it over to our Mayor, Lenny Curry. Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Sheriff. The Sheriff just introduced all the elected officials that are here today, members of the faith community, and I really just want everybody to pause and take a look at what we have here. This is a representation of everybody coming together for what I believe is the biggest and most pressing personal issue and cause facing our city right now. Aiden Michael McClendon, 22-month-old baby, gunned down. Gerald Ronaldo Brown, 22-year-old Rains High School graduate, murdered in his aunt's driveway. George Williams Ashley, 26 years old. Brittany Chantel White, 21 years old, left behind a 6-month-old baby girl after they were both found shot to death Wednesday in their car on the west side. These are murders that have just occurred within the last week. And then we heard about the 2-year-old Bailey that was shot on Christmas Day. And the list goes on, and the names go on and on. These are families. These are individuals. These are children. My message today is, these are our children. These are my children and your children. These are Jacksonville's children. And to anybody that thinks that they can move across our city and spray bullets into a car, into any car, particularly a car with children or a child in it, I echo what the sheriff said. We are resolute and determined to come after you. We will give the sheriff the resources they need, my administration, the city council, to make sure we get you off of our streets. This is going to take money. We announced a couple of days ago that we're going to ask the city council to take $500,000 out of Jacksonville Journey and allocate it so the sheriff's office can use it for overtime. I worked with my senior team this morning. We've looked at where we are year to date on the budget, and we have close to $1 million that we believe we can authorize right now for additional overtime as needed by the sheriff's office. The sheriff tells me that's over 30,000 man-hours. I'm going to make a commitment today. I want the people that are in these neighborhoods, any neighborhood that experiences this or that's close to this, to know that we don't want them to be scared or fearful. I'm going to carve out time and spend time knocking on doors, talking to people, letting them know that we are here and that we care about them. Again, I'm just honored to be here with all of the people, the media, that are committed to solving this. And I'm just going to close with what I said when I opened. I've talked about solving our pension crisis because that's a financial issue, and without money, you can do nothing without money. But this is our cause. These are our children, and I will stick with this and fight for this with our sheriff and our elected officials in our community every day. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Next, I'd like to invite my friend and founder of Save Our Sons and the spiritual leader of St. Paul Missionary Baptist Church, Bishop John Guns, to the podium. Bishop.
Today is very strange for this city. It's an awkward reminder of what evil looks like. But above and beyond all of that, it's a clarion call for us to cross political lines and racial lines and religious lines, our opinions about each other, to finally decide that we're going to save and salvage the real resource of our city, our children. As an African-American pastor, I am oftentimes in the awkward place of managing political dynamics. But I can truthfully say, and I say it publicly and confidently, that our mayor and our sheriff care deeply. I've spent a lot of time talking to these men, and they are committed to this. Behind me are pastors and political leaders. Behind me are law enforcement. And within a matter of hours, we're here. In a matter of hours. The first text sent at 8:55 this morning. And within several hours, our city has all come together on one spot with one statement. Law enforcement is important, and we must enforce this. but also community involvement. So we need every person listening to us. If you know something, don't be afraid to share what you know. 1-866-845-TIPS. We need you to commit to share what you know. The faith community has made a decision and a commitment in a meeting with our mayor and our sheriff that we're going to do everything possible to work together. We understand that our sheriff can only do so much. We understand that our mayor can only do so much. You cannot legislate love, nor respect for life, nor value for life. You can't legislate it. That's not policy. And so as the faith community and the community at large, we're going to elevate the message to an ethic of love and respect and value for life. And we're going to become engaged in that process. Our mayor and our sheriff and our city council and every person connected, our state attorney, our public defender, we have all made a decision that we're going to fight for life here. And so we're excited about today while we grieve today. We're excited. On this Monday, several pastors and I are calling together our city for a prayer vigil from 7 to 8 at the Bethel Baptist Institutional Church downtown. Bishop McKissick Jr. is their leader. We're calling the city together to meet us at 7 o'clock p.m. Please understand this, and this is my final word. This is not a black thing or a white thing. This isn't a south side thing or a north side thing. This isn't an east side thing. Our sheriff has said it well. This is about Jacksonville. And I'm glad to see so many of you who decided that today, a baby you knew nothing about several hours ago now matters so much to you, because that baby is a symbol that this city will not drown in decadence or depravity. This city will not be a prisoner to people who don't understand the value of life. But it will become a place where jobs and education and opportunity is spread throughout the city, and every person gets a chance to be great. And so thank you for coming. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Sheriff. Thank every one of you. This will turn, for we have the answer. And the answer is in this place right now and the unity that this city is presently manifesting. Thank you for coming, and we will not lose heart. We shall stick to this, and we shall win in the end. Thank you all.
Bishop, I know that you and Pastor McKissick and the other faith leaders are with us on this, and those of us in law enforcement and in government, we appreciate all that you do, all that you will continue to do as we work on this, again, community-wide solution. So thank you for that. Next, I want to call on Wiley Hodges, the Executive Director of First Coast Crime Stoppers. Wiley?
Thank you very much. I'm honored to be a part of this today. And you know, as I look out and we see city leaders, our sheriff, our mayor, and all the people in the community, and I hope this is just the beginning. You know, this needs to be the beginning. You know, the violence in Jacksonville is out of control. It's out of, you know, it's just ridiculous. And when you get a 22-month-old child, and it brings everyone here, but you know, every one of these deaths matter. And we should all be out here on all of these deaths and doing what we can to solve this crime. You know, I guess just briefly, I'm here to tell you what Crime Stoppers does and the part that we will play in this. And, of course, you know, the heart of our program is the ability for you to give information, remain 100% anonymous. If your tip leads to an arrest, we will pay the reward. As the sheriff has already spoken, that reward is up to $20,000 thus far. I don't know where it'll go from there. $20,000 is a lot of money. If you're listening out there today and you were the one involved in this, that's a big bounty on your head. You think you got friends, they're going to turn you for $20,000. I guarantee you, we'll have you in jail in no time. But as I stated, I'm proud to be a part of this group here today, and I'm excited to see the ones that have turned out today. And like I say, I hope this is just the beginning, and I hope that I hope we don't have to muster this anymore. You know, that is the issue. You know, but we've got to do something. Everyone has got to be involved. Here's the deal that Crime Stoppers plays. You know, best case scenario is you've got information, you know who done something, you know who committed this crime, you call the sheriff's office, you go to court, you testify. However, A lot of people don't want to do that anymore for a lot of reasons, and particularly the elderly. They're afraid. They're afraid to call in. They're afraid of being the next victim. They're afraid they can't take off work and go to testify in court. But let me tell you, if you've got any information whatsoever, there's absolutely no excuse that you don't call Crime Stoppers. None whatsoever. We guarantee anonymity. We pay a reward upon arrest, not arrest and conviction. We pay arrest upon arrest. And if you've got information, there's absolutely no reason that you can't share it. The information that you have does no good if you keep it inside. And you can't complain about crime in the city if you're not a part of helping it make it better. So anyhow, that's, again, $20,000. The number is 1-866-845-TIPS. You can also get us on the internet, First Coast or fccrimestoppers.com. So we be listening for your calls out there, and we expect to hear them very soon. And we hope to have this guy behind the bars very quickly. Thank you very much.
Good deal. Wiley, thank you, and thank you for the partnership that we have with First Coast Crime Stoppers. They do great work for us. Speaking of people who partner with us and do great work, I want to recognize Mad Dads, who's out here with us today. AJ, thank you for being here. Absolutely. Mad Dads has been a partner for the Sheriff's Office for many, many years, and they are out on the street every day working in these neighborhoods that are hardest hit by violent crime. So thank you for all that you do, and, you know, we're partnered with you. Thank you for that. You know, we talk a lot about the, you know, the change in leadership in city government here in July that occurred. And again, what you see here is representative of what I feel every day. I mean, we've got a good group of people who are working together here every day. That the list, almost the entire council is here today for an event like this, and it's incredible, and I'm overwhelmed by it. But this is Reginald Guthrie's district, and I want to invite just for a minute Reggie to come up and say a few words from the council. So with that, Reggie.
Wally, I'd like to make a commitment of $200 myself to go with that $20,000. And I challenge every person out here to make that same commitment, because enough is enough. And I would like to thank Mad Dad. I would like to thank Pastor Harry Williams and also the Lattimores, because over the last 2 months, we've been walking door to door in this community trying to solve problems, reach people and pray with people and say, help is coming. And so I'm so grateful for a sad occasion, but I'm grateful that you can see a city that is coming together to deal with one issue, which should be the #1 issue in this city, and that's crime. So, Sheriff, I'm on board, and I hope I can say this on behalf of the President, Greg Anderson, that we can give you, and we'll make sure you and the mayor get the resources y'all need to make a difference. Thank you.
So again, thank you all for coming out today, and that really ends the presentation. But we will, you know, in terms of the case or any other issues that you have questions about right now, we can answer just a few questions. Yes, ma'am. So right now, no correlation with some of those shootings that have been reported earlier in the week. We do believe, however, in the last 24 hours, we have had other shootings that may potentially be related to this, and that's part of the ongoing investigation. Yes, ma'am. What is your plan of action for the So we've got a lot of things on the table that we're working through, and we've been working since July to develop some plans. But much of what I talk about today is how that plan is going to unveil and unroll. This is a community-wide effort. So while we will continue to have gang investigations and obviously improvement in terms of numbers of officers on the street because of the partnership with the mayor, we have to, as a strategy, engage the entire community. We cannot overcome this problem by ourselves. So if you turn this and leave this in the lap of law enforcement, we cannot do it. It's not achievable. However, we have a role here, and we will obviously maintain that role. And again, it's about collaboration with the entire community to get us ahead of this really challenge once and for all here in Jacksonville.
Sheriff,
yes, sir.
To get this, basically, we've had this press conference before.
Right.
I mean, plenty of times.
Sure.
The Jacksonville journey was
Right.
Do you hope this gets that message out to get to people? Say, we've had this. It's time to start having a press conference.
Right. I mean, I don't want to have another one, to be honest with you. Not like this. So we have talked a lot about this. We have had success in pockets in our community, and for whatever reason, a lot of different reasons, those successes have been undermined, and we've not been able to sustain it. So obviously what we're looking to build is something that's sustainable and can have some long-term effect. But you're exactly right.
Can I add to that?
Absolutely.
I think it's important to remind the community that the sheriff's office, police officers were cut in recent years significantly, drastic cuts. We still have fewer officers today than we did in 2003. That's an important thing to note. We have started in partnership together to build that back up. The Jacksonville journey was all but defunded and frankly ignored. Those days are gone. We saw in 2011 these numbers drop as a result of the work that the sheriff's office does in conjunction with the journey. Those days are back.
Outstanding. And just a point of clarification. So the journey is a huge piece of what we have to do. It's a huge part of the investment. The journey will not prevent a shooting next weekend, but it'll prevent us from having this press conference 5 years from now, 7 years from now. And we've got to commit to that long-term investment. We have to do that.
Can I respond to that?
Absolutely.
And I'm only responding to say this. I think that a part of what you see is the strengthening of a relationship between law enforcement and government and community. This is not simply a governmental issue or law enforcement issue. It's a community issue. So what you see are businessmen, you see pastors, you see community leaders, you see community organizations. We are going to create a sustained coalition out of this. And we have put aside, as Bishop McKissick Jr. said when we met, we've put aside our egos. We don't care who gets credit. We simply care about lives. So if you are a cynic, be a cynic today, but you will look really bad in 5 years, because this is going to change, because we are totally committed to changing this. We need to kill the cynic spirit. If you don't believe it can change, keep your opinion to yourself. I don't get paid by anybody, so I can say what they probably can't say. Keep it to yourself. You can write it. Keep it to yourself, and let us go do the work. We can't do it if critics are simply looking for reasons to be negative. We got enough problems in this city. It doesn't get solved by negative people. It gets solved by positive leadership, and today we are a positive community that's about to address a negative issue.
Yes, sir.
Dan Everett with the Florida Star and Mad Dad.
Yes, sir.
You've given some information about JSO's involvement. What do you have on the table to get the community involved so that good people feel it's okay for them to get involved and do something to keep their community safe?
So part of the conversation that we're going to have moving forward the next several weeks and months talks about that relationship between the community and law enforcement and strengthening that relationship more and more every day. People have to feel safe. They have to trust us. We have to build that trust every day. We can't, you just like putting money in a banking account. We're going to need it, and we have to work on it every day. So to get people to trust us, to get people to trust that we are here to help you, we are in these communities because we care about this community much like everyone else that lives in that community does. That's the message that we have to get out, and again, to get people to buy into. So I can say it all day. You're going to have to see it first, and hopefully in the next several months we'll turn that corner after we get out in the neighborhoods and begin that work, and you'll see it. Yeah, and I'll get you some details on that when we break out of here. I got you. Yes, ma'am. I don't have an update for you, but I'll have it. You'll get it before we leave today. So listen, with that, I want to thank everybody for coming out again today. I want to thank all the elected officials, everybody from the community who has come out and to support this effort. Obviously honor Aiden, and hopefully we don't have to have this press conference again, but know that we are committed to getting ahead of this issue in our community once and for all. So again, thank you so much.